champions of the past. We have world champions of the present. Marissa Shields in the building.
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you.
Andrew Tate recently called out Jake Paul for rejecting his fight offer, accusing him of dodging a real challenge. Tate, known for taking on anyone, has no patience for Jake's sudden stage fright when it comes to facing him. Despite Jake's self-proclaimed reputation as a boxing prodigy, his record mostly consists of carefully selected opponents. Tate wasted no time calling Jake out, pointing out that avoiding real competition is just another example of Jake's habit of cherry-picking easy fights. The challenge is set, but Jake seems reluctant to take it on.
Clown on the fucking internet. If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate.
This isn't Jake's first clash with reality. His open challenge to Conor McGregor went nowhere, and his beef with Sean Strickland was just another hollow flex. Tate made it clear, Jake thrives on headlines, not on taking tough fights.
Me versus Andrew Tate.
Wow.
But here we are, so we could talk about that side note announcement. And please go watch the episode.
Hold on a second. What you mean you versus Andrew Tate? Because no,
I'm not saying a fight. I'm saying like our back and forth. He talks shit about me and like says he wants to beat my ass or can beat my ass and all this stuff.
I think there's a better fight to make.
I am so excited about this fight.
Andrew Tate has been training with the magician.
Andrew Tate has consistently criticized Jake Paul's approach, and rejecting his fight offer only gave Tate more ammunition. He mocked Jake's excuses, from vague claims about terms not being right to career strategy. Tate didn't hold back, calling these excuses nothing more than fear disguised as PR. According to Tate, Jake's entire career revolves around avoiding real competition, and it's hard to argue with him when you look at the facts.
If my brother doesn't fuck you up, I will. And it has to go down. But I don't think he gets in the ring with one of us.
Jake Paul's reluctance to face real competition is even more evident when considering his upcoming fight with Mike Tyson. While Tyson is a legendary name that will undoubtedly sell millions of pay-per-views, he's also 57 years old. Despite his greatness, Tyson's prime is long behind him, and any matchup with Jake will feel more like an exhibition than a legitimate contest. Andrew Tate didn't hold back on this point, questioning how Jake could claim to be a disruptor in boxing while opting to fight someone closer to collecting Social Security than competing at an elite level.
This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would fuck you up. I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million.
Jake Paul's pattern of challenging high-profile names without following through is becoming increasingly obvious. His open challenge to Conor McGregor went nowhere, and his call-out of Sean Strickland was another flashy move that fizzled out. Jake's tactics are clear: talk big, generate buzz, but never step into the ring with someone who poses a real threat. Andrew Tate has repeatedly called Jake out, and unlike some of Jake's other potential opponents, Tate is both willing and qualified to fight. A seasoned professional, Tate has faced and defeated world-class competition. A fight between Tate and Jake wouldn't just be a spectacle. It would be a true test of Jake's skills. But instead of seizing this opportunity, Jake continues to play it safe with hand-picked opponents.
I will fight you any day of the fucking week.
This isn't just about Andrew Tate's frustration with Jake Paul. It's about the implications for Jake's legacy. Jake loves to portray himself as a disruptor, someone changing the game, but his actions speak louder than his words. Rejecting fights with legitimate contenders like Tate only undermines that narrative. Instead of revolutionizing boxing, Jake seems more focused on turning it into a reality TV show where he controls the script. The fans are starting to catch on, with social media buzzing with criticism of Jake's decision to duck tough competition. People are realizing that Jake's rise in boxing is less about skill and more about spectacle. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate has earned respect for calling out the hypocrisy and challenging Jake directly.
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would fuck you up.
This entire saga sheds light on a deeper issue within the world of boxing. While the sport has always been a blend of skill and showmanship, Jake Paul's approach leans heavily toward the latter. By prioritizing marketable matchups over meaningful competition, Jake is contributing to the erosion of boxing's integrity. Andrew Tate's criticism isn't just about his personal grudge with Jake, it's about defending the sport itself. What makes this situation even more frustrating is that a fight between Jake and Tate would have been a blockbuster event. The build-up alone would have been worth watching, with both men known for their charisma and ability to hype a fight. More importantly, it would have given Jake the chance to prove himself against a legitimate fighter. Instead, Jake's rejection sends a clear message. He's not ready for that level of competition. Tate isn't letting this go quietly. And why should he? Jake's decision to reject the fight isn't just a missed opportunity for both men, but a clear indication of where Jake's priorities lie. For all his talk about wanting to be taken seriously as a boxer, his actions suggest otherwise. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time Jake's bravado has collided with reality. His career is full of moments where his words have outpaced his actions. Whether it's challenging McGregor or teasing a fight with Tyson, Jake has a knack for generating buzz without ever delivering on the promise.
I think you're focused on boxing boxers, people that are in the space that you reside.
Jake, I know he's been talking shit about you, bro.
Yeah.
But with your blessing, can I beat the shit out of Andrew fucking Tate?
100%.
This time, it feels different. By rejecting a fight with Andrew Tate, Jake Paul isn't just dodging another opponent. He's avoiding a real opportunity to prove himself, and the public sees it. Tate's relentless criticism has only amplified the scrutiny Jake is facing, making it harder for him to hide behind excuses. In contrast, Tate's offer is significant. With multiple kickboxing world championships and a history of fighting at a professional level against legitimate competitors, Tate presents a true test for Jake. This wouldn't be a fight against a retired athlete or an influencer learning to box. It would be a showdown with someone capable of exposing any weaknesses Jake might have.
But let's say he would call you to fight. Would you take it?
Yeah, I mean, Jake and I actually talk. He's an all right guy. There was a time we were talking about fighting each other, and I think if this arrest didn't happen, it probably would have come to fruition. We'll see what happens in the future.
Jake Paul's refusal to fight Andrew Tate comes at a particularly interesting time, especially considering his widely publicized upcoming match with Mike Tyson. Yes, Tyson is a massive name in the boxing world, a legend and household figure who can still generate huge buzz for any event. But let's not ignore the glaring reality. Tyson is 57 years old. While he remains in excellent shape, he's far from the ferocious fighter who once ruled the heavyweight division. Fighting Tyson may guarantee headlines, pay-per-view sales, and social media buzz, but does it really prove anything about Jake's skills as a boxer? Not really. Andrew Tate was quick to point out the irony in Jake's decision. Jake is willing to face someone nearly 3 decades older than him, but avoids fighting a competitor in his prime who's eager to face him. This isn't just about the Tyson fight or the rejected match with Tate. It's about a pattern that's defined Jake's career. Time and time again, Jake has chosen opponents who present the least risk, but offer the most attention. Whether you call it smart business or calculated marketing, it's far from what fans expect from someone claiming to be a serious boxer. Fans are beginning to notice, with social media buzzing with criticism of Jake's refusal to fight Tate. Many are calling out the hypocrisy of Jake's public persona versus his private actions. He talks a big game about disrupting boxing and proving himself, but his choice of opponents tells a very different story. Andrew Tate's relentless criticism has struck a nerve, as he's labeled Jake's career as one built on avoiding real challenges. And frankly, he's not wrong. Tate has positioned himself as the antithesis of Jake's brand, someone who fights for the love of competition and the desire to prove himself, not for social media clout.
So he does tend to keep those guards down, but he's comfy at that point.
For Andrew Tate, this situation presents another opportunity to reinforce his tough guy image. He's made it clear that he's not afraid of any challenge, and his bold call-out of Jake Paul has only won him more fans, especially those frustrated with the circus-like atmosphere boxing has become. Whether or not the fight ever happens, Tate has already claimed victory in the battle for public perception. As for Jake Paul, time is running out. He can continue building his career around spectacle, but eventually, the facade will crumble. Fans are growing tired of flashy call-outs and staged drama. They want real fights. Until Jake steps up and delivers, his legacy will remain as hollow as the celebrity boxing matches that first brought him fame. This isn't just a battle between Jake Paul and Andrew Tate. It's about the future of boxing. Will it stay a sport defined by skill and competition, or will it devolve into a sideshow driven by clicks and headlines? Tate has made his position clear, and Jake's decision to reject the fight speaks volumes about his own priorities. For now, one thing is certain. Andrew Tate has destroyed Jake Paul, not in the ring, but where it hurts the most, his reputation.